Hey there, folks. My name's Earl Whitfield. I'm 76 years old, and I've been living out here by myself for going on 7 years now. Just me and Blue here. And before you say anything, no, I'm not a hermit. I'm not one of those survivalist guys with a bunker full of canned beans and conspiracy theories. I just ran out of reasons to stay where I was. That's the honest answer. People keep asking me, Earl, don't you get lonely? And I'll answer that, I promise. But let me back up first, because the answer won't mean anything without the story. I was a carpenter, commercial work, union guy out of Portland, 38 years. Hospitals, schools, office buildings. Nothing glamorous. I married Linda in 1978. We bought a house in Cottage Grove in '94, $87,000. 3 bedrooms, a yard that was mostly mud, and a kitchen Linda said looked like a crime scene from the 1970s. Orange linoleum peeling at the corners, wallpaper with little brown flowers that looked like they'd been dead since Nixon. For our 20th anniversary, I redid that whole kitchen for her. 3 months of nights and weekends. She picked the color, this pale blue. She said it made her feel like she was cooking in the sky, which is a strange thing to say, but that was Linda. She'd say things like that, and you just nod, because somehow it made sense when she said it. We had 2 boys. Michael's in Boise now, insurance. Danny's in Sacramento, does something with computers I've never fully understood. They both left Oregon after college. That's what kids do. You raise them to leave. Nobody tells you that part. So it was me and Linda. 38 years of marriage. Not perfect. We had a couple of bad years in the mid-90s. Almost didn't make it. But the last 10 years were really good. We'd figured out how to be quiet together. That's the thing nobody talks about in marriage. It's not about the talking. It's about whether you can sit in a room and not talk and have it feel okay. Linda got diagnosed in August of 2016, pancreatic. If you know anything about pancreatic cancer, you know that when they find it, it's usually already too late. 3 months, August to November. That's what we got. And I know what you're thinking. At least you had time to say goodbye. But here's the thing about watching someone die slowly. Every day, there's a little less of them, and you can't stop it. 40 years of building things for other people, and I couldn't build her one more day. She passed on November 14th, a Tuesday. I remember it was raining. I remember thinking how ordinary everything was. The nurses doing their shifts, the vending machine humming in the hallway. The whole world just kept going, like nothing had happened. I stayed in that house for almost 2 years after. Those were the worst 2 years of my life. Worse than the cancer. Because during the cancer, I had a purpose. Take care of Linda. After she was gone, I had nothing. Every room had her in it. The closet still had her clothes. The bathroom still had her shampoo. I couldn't move any of it, and I couldn't live with it. Then one day, early 2018, I see this ad online. 12 acres outside Oak Ridge, Oregon. Raw land. No structure, no well, no road. Just trees and dirt and a creek. $42,000. And something in my chest just unlocked. Like a door I didn't know was closed. I sold the house, got $195,000, bought the land cash, and I said, "Okay, Earl, you're going to build one more thing. My boys thought I'd lost my mind. Michael called and said, Dad, you're 69 years old. You can't live in the woods. And I said, watch me. Not my most mature moment, but sometimes you gotta just do the thing. I built this cabin, 400 square feet, 5 months. A guy from Oak Ridge, Hector, helped me with the foundation and the roof because I'm not stupid enough to think a 69-year-old can climb a roof alone. Well, I'm not stupid enough anymore. Wood stove for heat, solar panels, started at 800 watts, barely enough to charge a phone. Upgraded to 1.6 kilowatts later. And the well, that almost ended everything. First drill went 180 feet, dry. $8,500 into the ground, literally. Second try, 220 feet, hit water. I sat down in the dirt and cried. February 2019, ice storm hit Lane County. My access road got blocked, not by one tree, by 6. I was stuck 11 days with food for maybe 6. I rationed, melted snow. On day 9, I chainsawed through enough trees to get the truck out, drove to town, sat in the diner, and ordered the biggest breakfast they had. Almost cried again. I'm a crier, apparently. 76 years old, and I just found out. But that wasn't the bad one. January 2021. I was out back splitting wood and slipped on ice. 2 fractured ribs. I was 200 yards from the cabin, and it took me over an hour to crawl back, stopping every few feet because the pain was like someone standing on your chest, pushing harder every time you breathe. And I'm looking up at these massive Douglas firs that don't give a damn about me and thinking, well, Linda, I might be seeing you sooner than I planned. And here's the part that makes me look bad. I didn't call for help. I wrapped myself up and just dealt with it for weeks because I was proud, because I had told everyone I could do this alone and I wasn't about to prove them right. Michael drove down unannounced, walked in and saw me moving like a 90-year-old. Dad, what the hell is wrong with you? We had it out right here. He wanted me to come back. I said no. He said, then I don't know what to say to you anymore. And he left. Didn't talk to me for almost 8 months. And I'm going to tell you the truth. Because if I'm sitting here telling my story, I should at least be honest. I wasn't just grieving Linda. I was punishing everyone for losing her, including myself, especially myself. I told myself this was about freedom and peace. And some of that was true. But underneath, I was angry. At God, at cancer, at the world for keeping on spinning. I figured if I put enough trees between me and everybody else, I wouldn't have to feel that anymore. There were nights, not a lot, but enough, where I sat here with a bottle of Jim Beam and went somewhere dark. One week I didn't leave the cabin, didn't eat right, just stopped. I want to be clear, I never thought about ending things. It was more like I forgot why I was doing any of this. Not just living out here, living in general. And you know what snapped me out of it? There was this deer, a buck, came around every morning, standing at the tree line staring at me like I owed him money. I called him Senator, stood there looking important and doing absolutely nothing. Then one day he stopped coming, and I was genuinely upset about a deer. And I realized, oh Earl, you're in trouble here, buddy, because the forest doesn't care about your feelings. That's the beauty and the horror of it. You are nothing out here. And for a while, that felt like relief. But when you're nothing to everything around you, and also nothing to the people who are supposed to matter, that's not freedom. That's just a different kind of prison. I don't remember the exact day things shifted. I just got tired of being angry. That's all it was. Anger takes a lot of energy. At 72, you don't have that kind of energy to waste. I started going into Oak Ridge once a week. Coffee place, nothing fancy. After a few weeks, there were other guys. Retired loggers, veterans, a former math teacher. Nobody asked deep questions. We just sit and talk about the weather or the ducks, and that was enough. Then I called Michael. September 2021. I didn't prepare a speech. I just said, I know I scared you, and I'm sorry. I'm not coming back to the city, but I want you to come visit. Bring the kids. Okay, Dad. Just like that. He came out in October with his boy Tyler, who was 9 then. That kid walked into this cabin, and his eyes got huge. Grandpa, you live here? This is like a fort. He wanted to know everything. The solar panels, the water, why the stove clicks when it cools. He asked me more questions in 2 days than Michael had in 2 years. And Michael, on the last day, packing up the truck, he put his hand on my shoulder and said, "It's nice out here, Dad." That was all I needed. After that, I changed some things. Better satellite communication. My neighbor Dave, 3 miles down the ridge, I call him every morning by 8:30. If he doesn't hear from me, he comes. Simple. I keep a phone and first aid kit within reach at all times now. Should have done that from day one. I didn't get softer. I got smarter. There's a difference. So, what is it like to live alone in the forest? 1. Loneliness and being alone are not the same thing. Loneliness is what I felt in that house in Cottage Grove, surrounded by Linda's absence. Being alone is what I feel out here. It's quiet, sometimes hard, but not lonely, because lonely means you're missing something. Out here, I'm not missing anything. I'm just here, with the trees and the dog and my own thoughts, which have gotten a lot more tolerable since I stopped trying to outrun them. 2. Nature is not therapy. People romanticize this. The forest does not know you exist. A tree is not going to hold your hand. A sunset is not a substitute for a conversation with someone who loves you. But that indifference is what helped me. When everything around you is just being what it is, without any opinion about you, there's a space that opens up. And in that space, you can finally hear yourself think. Not the panicky thoughts, the real ones underneath. And what I heard was an old man who was tired of being mad and ready to just live whatever time he had left. 3. Pride almost killed me. Literally. I was so busy proving I could handle it alone that I almost lost the people I was still alive for. That would have been the real tragedy. Not dying in the woods. dying in the woods with my sons thinking I didn't care enough to pick up the phone. I'm 76. Maybe 10 good years left if I'm lucky. Maybe less. You don't get to know that part. And I'm spending them the way I want, but not the way I started. I started angry, scared, running from something I couldn't name. Now I'm just here. And here is pretty good. I wake up every morning, and the first thing I hear is nothing. No traffic, no TV, no news anchor telling me why I should be afraid. Just wind, maybe. A woodpecker if I'm lucky. And after 76 years of noise, the job, the bills, the hospitals, the funeral, nothing sounds pretty damn good. All right, I gotta go split some wood before it gets too warm. You folks take care. Oh, and call your dad. He won't ask you to, but he wants you to. Trust me on that one.